Hello YouTube, my name's Lucia. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be about something that I am very proud of today, and I'm just so thankful that I am privileged enough to acknowledge it, and that is International Day Against Homophobia, Transphobia, and Biphobia. So the reason why I'm making a YouTube video about this is because honestly, I feel like, and I have this insecurity, and I don't want to call it an insecurity because I'm also very proud of it. It kind of like goes both ways. That I feel like a lot of people who maybe witness me on social media and in person too, they might conceptualize me as like a person who is essentially annoying on the basis of always, I feel like people like see it as like advertising, I guess you could say, the fact that I'm transgender and like the fact that I'm LGBTQ. And the reason why I'm constantly bringing up and just stating the fact and like stating my own existence that I am transgender and that I'm proud of it and that I can be whoever I want, and that goes both ways too, like that you and everyone else can be whoever they want and that that's okay, and that you can be proud of whoever you are, and that is because there is so much homophobia, biphobia, transphobia out there, and I know that there's also so many LGBTQ plus people out there who witness that and then internalize that. So when somebody does something that is homophobic, biphobic, transphobic, it becomes internalized by people who are LGBTQ plus. And I don't know if you know fully what I mean by internalized. In terms of like, I guess describing it, it's like when honestly, I'm just gonna keep it simple. Like, I've been told since I was young that I'm a boy, I'm a boy, I'm a boy. I have to act in a certain way, and if I don't act in that way, that is bad. I am bad. I am bad, basically. And like, and this was everywhere. Like, I'm not focusing on just like my family or just like friends or something. Like, and by the way, I have an amazing family and amazing friends. I'm not like, I'm just keeping it very general. Like, I'm not blaming anyone in particular. It's more just like this society, like the Western society that we live in, and the way that it is set up. Like, we are set up to believe and value and maintain a heteronormative society, meaning like heterosexuality is the norm. That's like what's normal and natural, or conceptualized as that, obviously. Not actually like, that's not what it actually is, but we just like believe that as a society, and that's how we're all socialized to believe, and that's how we're set up. And therefore, no one is really given the tools. For example, like Doug Ford, cutting out LGBTQ plus identities of sexual education, like sex ed, which I definitely don't agree with and think is horrible. Like, that's just completely disregarding the existence and disregarding the importance and the validness of LGBTQ plus identities. And that's like homophobia, transphobia, and biphobia on its own. It's really justifying the homophobia, transphobia, and biphobia that is occurring all the time, and that I and so many other LGBTQ plus people witness every day. Now, I don't want to just focus on this idea that like, oh, I'm so oppressed. Like, that's not what I'm trying to say. Like, that's not what I'm doing. I'm coming on here to basically also like acknowledge, like, I'm not going to go in detail, basically, is what I'm trying to say, like, about all the different transphobic experiences that I've had. And that's not what this video is about. I'm here basically to talk about all the ways that I'm proud of myself and so many other LGBTQ plus people for taking a stand against transphobia, biphobia, and homophobia. Sorry, I keep saying that. It's just like what the day is, you know what I mean? And, and also, I want to acknowledge how much privilege I have to be able to do that, to be able to take a stand against homophobia, transphobia, and biphobia, and all the other LGBTQ plus people who do. Like, we are, we have to be in a privileged position in order to be able to do that, because a lot of people in this world aren't in a privileged position where they are able to stand up for themselves and others around them. That's why I am that too, maybe I'm urging, but I'm encouraging everyone who watches this video, if you are in a position where you are able to stand up to transphobia, biphobia, and homophobia, please do so, especially when you're seeing it. Like, if you're witnessing it, please, please, please. And I just want everyone to know too that like LGBTQ plus people do not need to always be the educators, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think LGBTQ plus people should be obligated to be the educator, but there are so many of us who are happy to educate, aka me, like, you know what I mean? So like, please, 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 like, everyone go on YouTube, go and type in, and this is just one example, but like, take advantage of the access to resources that you have and the privilege that you have to even be able to learn about LGBTQ plus identities, because that knowledge is withheld from so many people, and that only further fuels the homophobia, transphobia, and biphobia that exists. You know, like, it like essentially, like, ignorance almost in a way justifies it, you know, and I don't think that's right. And that's why I think, like, just go on YouTube and type in, like, there's so much knowledge out there. I learned so much about myself from just watching YouTube videos and listening to the experiences and believing and validating the experiences of others. So I definitely, like, you know, suggest that. And I want to definitely continue making YouTube videos. And of course, like, not all my videos are going to be like focused like directly on being trans and stuff, but I want to be visible, and I want to acknowledge the privilege that I have to be visible and use that to further not only educate, but to further make other LGBTQ plus people feel as if they can do the same, and that it's possible for them to do the same, and that everything will be okay, regardless of the internalization of homophobia, transphobia, and biphobia that they have. I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm someone who has internalized transphobia 100%, and that doesn't mean that I'm transphobic. What that means is that I've experienced so much transphobia in this world that I'm afraid and at times even ashamed of who I am. And I'm still to this day trying to get over it. You know, like, I've been told since birth that I am wrong, and in that, you know, like, that whole message definitely justifies transphobia. And I'm in this place where, like, I'm able to recognize that I don't deserve the transphobia that I receive. But for a long time, I wasn't that way, you know, like, I was so afraid to be who I am. And when something transphobic would happen to me, I would, or for me to, like, witness something that's transphobic, even, like, not even have it necessarily directly happen to me, I would feel so bad about myself. Not for myself, I would feel bad about myself. Like, I would almost feel as if I deserve that and that I'm the problem. When now I'm able to realize that I'm not the problem, and I'm here to tell you that if you're LGBTQ plus and you are experiencing, like, bigotry of any kind or any kind of inequality, you are not the problem. The people who are producing that are. And I don't want to even call them the problem per se. I think the way that society is set up to think is the problem, and that anyone who is thinking that way, I feel like we can all grow. And I'm someone who does not agree with cancel culture. I don't think anyone should ever be canceled for being homophobic, transphobic, or biphobic. I don't think that behavior should be tolerated, and I think that everyone needs to be called out on that behavior in, you know, different ways. And that's what I mean by standing up against it. Like, I think that behavior needs to be called out and learned from, and given the opportunity and the tools necessary to grow as a person and grow, I guess, in total as a society, to be more accepting and more, I don't even want to say the word tolerable, because LGBTQ plus people should not be tolerated. They should be included. It should be this inclusive and accepting environment or society. And I just want to acknowledge how homophobia, transphobia, and biphobia really forces people who are LGBTQ plus to really pay attention to politics and all the different areas of their life and of society that are necessary for someone to exist freely and exist in a way that is, like, livable and doable, in that it isn't for a lot of LGBTQ plus people, and that needs to change, and that needs to change by taking a stand against homophobia, transphobia, and biphobia. In that, if someone isn't political like that, like, that's, if somebody, like, has the privilege to not be political, that's exactly what it is. It's privilege. And I'm encouraging everybody to pay attention and to always look and consider and fight for the interests of LGBTQ plus people, because just as I said, we are people and we deserve human rights, just like everyone else. And I'm going to continue standing up for LGBTQ plus identities constantly, and doing that visibly, and I guess you could say, like, publicly, right? Like, on social media and in person as well, of course. And just standing, like, you know, calling it out when it needs to be called out, because I know there's so many LGBTQ plus people who don't have their voices heard and may not necessarily have somebody telling them that that is okay. And if I need to be that person to demonstrate that everything is going to be okay for them, and that homophobia, transphobia, and biphobia is wrong, and that it is not going to be justified or just let like slide by kind of thing, I'll be that person, you know, like I'll be that person to stand up. And talking to LGBTQ plus people specifically, if you experience homophobia, transphobia, biphobia, I know it's such a hard thing to say. Like, obviously, I can't be like, don't internalize it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it happens, and you can't even help it sometimes. But just keep in mind that everything will be okay, and that there are people out there who care for you and love you, and that you are valid, and that you are not the problem. And I know that that's not always easy too. I mean, like, arguably still don't love myself fully, even though I may appear that way, but because of all the internalization of transphobia that I've had, you know, at times, a lot of the time, I feel as if I'm still ashamed of who I am, and I'm working so hard, and I know that we can get through this together. You are all beautiful, you are all loved. I hope you all had an amazing day standing up against homophobia, transphobia, and biphobia. I will see everyone in the next video, and yeah, I love you, bye.